Group, and we'll be starting right now. So hopefully it's 9 o'clock. I'm really looking forward to hearing what David's got to say about in tonight's webinar. Really looking forward to what he's got to say about the equity markets, especially. So we've had a great rally from 4,900 up to 5,300. Market's a bit soggy today on the back of some of that US news, and also on some of the mining, which the market's a little bit of a funny one at the moment. It's got, as Ideal Financial Group, more markets equals more opportunities. You've got great opportunities in the banking sector and great opportunities in the shares such as Blackmore's with their access into China. So you've got shares like that going 4 times, and you've got other shares, especially in the resources sector, that's going backwards. So as we say, more markets equals more opportunities, and really looking forward to hearing what David's got to say about tonight. There's a disclaimer and warning. I hope everyone can see that, issued by Ideal Financial Group. We're a CAR of Ruta Proprietary Limited, AFSS licence. Stands for Australian Financial Service Licence 338674. So what that means is we're licensed in Australia, a bit like a driver's license. So we've got to do certain tests, and we've got to jump through certain hoops. So you want to make sure the people you are trading with have an Australian financial services license, and the products they're providing they're allowed to do. So tonight's webinar is general information, not prepared for your specific objective, investment objectives, financial situation or needs. Consult a licensed investment advisor before making any investment decisions. An Ideal Financial Group is that. Before making any investment or trading decisions based on any methodology, the investor or trader should decide with or without professional advice whether trading meets your investment objectives and suits you. Okay, it's your decision to trade. These materials are for educational purposes only. So we at Ideal Financial Group, we highly recommend you run stop losses and you protect your account. Okay, with that protection, I was speaking to a few clients the other day, and they were saying how they insure their house, which is a major asset. They insure their car, which is a major asset, but they have no downside protection on their share portfolios. And people have got a lot of capital tied up in share portfolios, especially in this superannuation. Ideal Financial Group, we're licensed to do derivatives, and we can do some options or some share price index, so we can help protect the downside of your share portfolio. And that doesn't necessarily mean getting out of your physical shares. So you can still hang on to your shares and reduce the risk on the downside, and that's what the market's all about. As I mentioned, I'm JR from Ideal Financial Group. More markets equals more opportunity. When I'm talking more markets, I mean online markets, and I'm meaning the world's markets. Okay, we don't just trade the ASX. We have a global trading platform. Okay, it's got advanced charting and analysis tools, latest breaking financial news, but it's got immediate trade confirmations. And one of the things about it is it's fast and it's robust. Okay, so if you want to buy your US shares, if you want to get a hold of Alibaba, one of our research guys over in Western Australia, Claudio, who I introduced a couple of weeks ago, sent me some stuff on Alibaba, how it's coming up to a similar version of the Chinese Valentine's Day, and a lot of single people shop online, and Alibaba's could explode over that period. So if you want exposure to the Alibaba, you can do that through the Ideal platform or through us at Ideal Financial Group. Just as easy as you can trade your BHP or your Commonwealth Bank or your NAB after record profits. That's a quick thing of a chart. Anyway, enough for me. I'm really looking forward to hearing what David's got to say tonight. We're in for a special treat. I'm John Robertson, or JR. I'm called JR because John Robertson's very difficult and long and slow and tedious to sign, and I used to have to sign lots of chits when I was a floor trader. That's me sitting in the chits. So you can contact us on 1300 293 325 or jr@i-deal.com.au. If you need a hand with any of your trades, we've got cheap brokerage, and we've got service that custom made to your needs and requirements. Really looking forward to hearing what David's got to say tonight, especially about the banking sector. You've probably got a few things to say about NAB and a couple of others, David.
Okay, it's Terry Southall here from...
You there, David?
Yes, David's there. Can you hear Terry
Oh, hey
Southwell
Terry,
speaking?
how are you?
Very good, thank you. I'm in Melbourne tonight.
Yes,
You're in
Terry, I can
Sydney,
hear you.
and where is David tonight? Is he in Sydney or Melbourne? David?
A computer internet
find out.
place right now.
Okay.
Right now I'm actually
Okay.
in Sydney.
Okay, that's good. Up the city that never sleeps.
Oh, that's New York. Sydney is the
No,
Sydney is the
Sydney's trying to be New York.
Sydney is the city that never forgives and keeps moving because they're too busy trying to pay their mortgages off.
Yeah, interesting. I
I think
saw on
it's
the
our
television.
sister city, New York.
Is that right?
That's sister city, is it? Right.
I see on the television this afternoon they've got a rat plague in New York. I was wondering if they're anywhere near the New York Stock Exchange.
I'm sure there's a few rats in that joint. Certainly, there's a few rats in the. There's a few rats in the pits of the orange juice futures and the coffee futures from what I've seen over the years.
Right. Well, let's go for it. The first question tonight. I don't have a.
If you're trading coffee, trade NIBOT, not NYMEX. NIBOT's got all the volume.
Yeah, there's a few guys bouncing a basketball around, and they are the ones that control what you do.
Okay, gentlemen, let's go for it. The first question tonight from Rob. TGS Tiger Resources. He doesn't have anything else. He just says Tiger Resources, TGS.
Okay, Terry, now you've caught me short. Normally you do a massive preamble, and
That's right.
and I'm just sort of sitting here trying to get the recording. So get the recording.
Well, while you're doing that, oh, look at you there. You look like you've been out in the sun.
I have been. It's funny you should mention it.
Yeah, so have I. Well, I was at Phillip Island on the weekend. You weren't down there?
I was down there on Monday having a surf, but I didn't quite get to see your races.
We were there with our, we were at their racing, and we got pole position and won in 3 races out of 3. So we had a good weekend. We normally win when we go there. For those who are interested in car racing.
You do.
Okay, Tiger Resources.
Terry is
TGS.
Terry is actually quite a legend in the way that he does things. He actually builds. He also builds.
I don't think so.
You build motor cars. It's like to build a racing car is pretty amazing by hand. That is just, to me, incredible. Somebody doing that. And I am stalling, but I do mean that. Terry, if you ever want to know, so Terry used to beat Peter Brock in races until Peter Brock got sponsored by a large organisation. Is that's correct, isn't it, Terry?
Yes, we ran against each other in 1968 at Phillip Island. And when I went down there, I had a car called, those of you who like cars, if you go to, while I'm stalling for you, if you go to the Google and type in TOJERIO, Tajiro Climax, CLIMAX, my old racing car is for sale over there in America. It was anyway. You'll see a picture of it. It looks like a small Monza Ferrari or a small D-type Jaguar. Beautiful car. And first time down there with that at Phillip Island, I took 3.5 seconds off a 6.5-year-old lap record, which is a lot. So it's was a very special car, and I had some epic races with Peter Brock, and it was he was a very clean driver and surprisingly not hard to beat for me anyway. Not saying I was good or something, but he was very open, clean. No, he's a very open, clean driver. And Phillip Island is a track that if you really have a go at it, you'll go very quick there. And anyone who's a racer who've driven at Phillip Island will tell you it's one of the finest tracks you'll ever race at.
Okay.
Great track.
Now, I'm officially almost ready to go.
Win races.
Yeah, I have, and watched him. Okay. His son is just amazing. Just amazing. Okay, let's do TGS.
Yeah. I'll say one last thing. As you know, I'm not technically gifted, and the other day I bought a scanner. It's a fax machine scanner and does everything. It'll tap dance for you, I think. And if during the week you can help me work out how to do it, I'll find a couple of racing photos and show you next week.
Legend. Okay.
For those who are interested in cars. Okay, let's go.
Okay, that's
Yes,
good.
TGS, Tiger Resources. Sorry it's taken so long.
Yeah, okay, that's all right. Now, I'm just trying to see if I've got everything in place. And here we go. Let's look at TGS. And apologies, there's too many things got to go. Oh, I had a screen disappear. Okay, Tiger, beautiful correction. This is a good correction. It's come back into the right sort of area for me to look at and be appealing. Basically, this is right now, and it's on a shorter term horizon. At the moment, if you're looking at this, you'd be having your stop loss around about the 6.3 cents and trying to get in on a break above 8.9 cents. So by the break above 8.9 cents, stop below 6.3 cents, your target really are somewhere into the 11 cents or 12 cents on the top side. Now that of course is the trader's time frame. On the higher time frame, we'll just have a quick look to see whether I'm talking shit or not. You can see here your target is about 11 cents, but if it takes that out, 15 cents and just 21 cents are the next zone with a dream target of 26.5 cents.
Listen, I've got a question for you without notice. Take a share like this one, 6 cents, 8 cents, whatever. Do people trade these and do very well? And what type of trades would they normally take on a small cost share like this? Because I know some of your profit under managers do very well out of it.
Yeah, it depends on their size of their capital. So I often recommend you, if you are trading something, you do not take a position greater than 1 day's worth of trading in a week. So what that means is that if you take a position and you average it out across the week and you go, okay, what's an average day worth of trading? Then in illiquid times, it might take you 1 or 2 days to get out. You shouldn't have anything more than that. Some of our members take very sizable positions. Cindy was saying that a financial planner today was trying to get her to go and buy banks because she told him that she'd made a whole lot of money trading, and he wanted her to put 300,000 of the profits she's made recently into the banks. And she said to me, well, why would I do that when David's saying the banks are going down? I said, exactly, but I gave her some strategies that if he was a good financial planner, and I advise quite a few financial planners, that if he's a good financial planner, he should be able to find actually for his reason. Now his reason was that he wanted her to get dividends. And there are better ways to get dividends than wearing a risk to the share price, and you can do that by using some of the floating notes that the banks have issued, and you don't take a capital risk, but you pick up a 5% dividend yield on those fully franked, and so that's a good thing to do. So.
Well, would John Robertson, he'd know all about those sorts of trades, would he?
For those sort of things, yes, you can talk to me or you can talk to John as well. Yep. So let's move on. What's the next one there, Terry?
Same from Rob. It's a second question. REA, general strategy. Now it's approaching David's target of $40, $48.40. It's now about $48. What do we do when it gets there?
$49.26. Actually, the funniest thing was Cindy was saying, hang on, I just sold the bank ANZ at $29.13 based on David's your target at $29.24 to short it at. So why should I be buying the banks? It was actually, her brain it was interesting watching the brain process today when she gave me a call. So yeah, $49.26, that's still up there. Now, in terms of this pattern here, this pattern is usually what I would say is probably a fourth wave, and these fourth waves can last for a little bit, so you should be banking half the cash around that $49.26 area. And remember, realestate.com.au or rea.com.au or whatever it's called, it does have some pretty wild moves, so it's a good thing to take profit on because it probably pulls back down to about $44 after it's banged into this level. Keep half running just in case it scoots through. A good trade there, Rob, by the way.
Right. By the way, this is a question without notice from the left field. I did a profit hunter trade shorting the SPY 200 December contract. Got in at 53.35, and it's down. I'm travelling in Victoria at the moment. I don't have a computer to get to it, but it's under 52 something at the moment. So that's a trade that's running quite nicely.
Yeah.
John Robinson put that on for us.
Yep,
So
it's trading 52.38 now at the moment.
Is at the moment.
It's trading 52.38 right now.
52.38.
You're
So
excited.
I'm near 100 points in front.
You're excited, Terry.
Oh yeah, like Big Kev. I don't know. So that I would imagine that's quite a profitable trade at the moment.
Yeah, it's reasonable profit on that one. I don't think you'd argue with that.
Thank you for that.
So
no. Well, I've. It's actually been quite good to just. I did the trade. What was it? Oh, Tuesday, and so I haven't been looking at computers or following it. It's been good actually. I just put a stop loss in place and walked away.
See, what you can see is on this.
Close to taking profit on that, or just right with it?
Well, if you're going to take profit for a quick profit, the first target I gave was 5,200. The next was 5,150. And a dream target would be 5,006. So you're in a little bit of a debate area now because it's rejected off the prior lows, which is good. It's done a 50% retracement, which is good on the highs. So, and volume has been decreasing as price has been going up. So it's been quite nice to see that trade. And you know, my thoughts about the banks coincide with what I think about this index. So if you're taking that, the best thing I can tell you to do now, Terry, is lower your stop to 53.30, and then you don't care.
53.30.
Yep.
Okay. So I mean, profit. Whatever happens, let what's that saying? Just get out of your losses quickly and let your profits run.
Yeah. Now, was it helpful having JR as a broker there for you, John Robertson?
Do you want the truth?
Yep.
How about a bit of truth here? I've actually, when I first started dealing with John Robinson a few weeks ago, he's a pain in the bum. But he's a stickler for doing it dead right. He crosses every T, dots every I, and he was exactly what I needed. I was probably the pain in the bum, not him. But he's made me trade sensibly, and I wish I'd traded with him a long time ago.
Yeah, that's why. That's what.
John, don't be offended. But I'm just telling you the truth.
That's why I chose John as a broker for the PHG group, because the one thing that John does is he's not rushing out and making people trade stupid ideas, which I have seen time and time again with a lot of brokers. And you yourself know that and I know you've complained about one particular broker who will remain nameless. Many people know his face, but he was constantly calling you up to take trades. John will never do that unless it's a Profit Hunter Group trade, and it's on. You're a Profit Hunter Group member, and you may have missed out and you've expressed interest in it. So what he does is he's not chasing the business, but he's making sure you stay a customer for life because you stay alive. A lot of brokers are just after your brokerage, and they do it to me too. I had it for about 15 years, brokers chasing me, particularly when I was worth a lot of money for them in the foreign exchange, but they just ring you up and want you to trade all the time, and that really, you got to pick your mark. So, yeah.
Well, I made it public how much I put in the account. I put 18,000 there, and I think the first trade was worth 1,700. I got stopped out for a loss of 700. So I was roughly, let's call it $1,000 in front. So that makes it 18,500, and whatever this thing's worth at the moment, it's probably worth quite a few thousand.
Yeah.
So I'd be over 20 anyway. So why we did this is that it's okay for people to come along. There's a lot of people are watching this and listening to this and doing it for free, which is fine. Don't blame them for that. I get a lot of stuff on the computer free, and if it's there, you accept it. But there comes a time when you either get involved or get out of the water. And so I decided that I would trade your Prop 100 trades and use John Robertson and just let them see how the system works. And if they if the trades continue like this and that 18,000 builds up to a sizable amount, well, it's proof positive how good this was all working. And as I said to you before, I found John very hard to deal with early. I told him that. But it's worth it. I was the one who needed to change, and he changed me.
Okay.
So that's good.
That's great. Okay, move on.
Anyway, that's what we're on about.
Yeah.
Now, Blackmore's BKL ASX. Nice work on this one. It touched $200. Your big target today, it's now 178.34. I don't understand that because we'll do it again. Blackmore's BLK ASX. Nice work on this one. It touched $200, which was your big target. Today, now, I gather it's at 178.34 today, is it?
Yeah, well, it closed at $175.50. Now, when it was down around that 100 area, when it was down around that 100 area, I started talking about 200. Now, it's been an extreme move, and what we saw was that it's pulled back $25 today, which is just over around about the 12.5% mark from the high down. That sounds exciting or depressing for people who bought it at 200. And what we've seen is that it's actually was up from the low today, or which was near the open. It opened at $156. So it was up actually $20 higher than the open. So the close was quite high. So this is now going into a confused state of mind. Now, can you not see the chart there, Therese? I can see it on mine. Okay. Yeah.
I can see it here.
Therese can. Yeah. So we can. Teresa, sorry. It is up there, Teresa. So this should track sideways for a little while now. At least go down to 172.91. Big whoop. It's probably got 160 on its mind in its confused state of mind. So it's got really well ahead of itself. It got to the perfect target. It's almost like it will not trade there for about a month and will spend sideways movement now. So Blackmore's, any broker, and this brokers will tend to come to you and say buy Blackmore's, and you go, why? And then you go, oh well, it went up and then it comes back down, and it will frustrate the hell out of you. So Blackmore's is now buy the dips, sell the rallies, buy the dips, sell the rallies, probably for about 2 weeks. Then it may push higher again. So your broker might be right in the long run, but it's going to churn, and it's going to be very difficult trading for this one. So if you're trying to trend follow it, you really want to pick it at the right level.
Been a wild ride, a great ride for the people who've been in it.
That's true.
That's amazing. I wouldn't say it's amazing. That $200 call, and it touched it.
Yeah,
it's good on you. Now, from Bernie, not Bernie the countryside, but Bernie the person. Empower, EPW, took a dive today. What's your medium to longer outlook for this one? According, it says Bernie.
Okay. It's not that brilliant. I would like to think that it goes down around about $1.80 or $1.68. At the moment, I wouldn't be too excited about buying this. Investors time frame. On the intermediate time frame, maybe if it clawed its way above $2.10, it would be useful for a buy with a stop below $1.85. On the traders time frame, you can see you get out of jail card is a rally back up to $2.02, so you could get rid of it, or $2.10. There are quite a few stocks that are behaving like this lately. It's not a good sign for the overall market itself. And we've seen culminations, and we're seeing movements to the downside. For example, Woolies today got the clacker knocked out of it.
I haven't seen what it got to. Did it see 22? That's my guess. No.
Woolies? No,
Woolies?
no. I've been looking for 22. That's,
No.
as you remember, that target. But that's such a dramatic decline. I have no idea what fundamental reason that was, and frankly, I don't care. I got sent a document on a stock that I own, and it was seriously about half an inch thick, trying to explain why to reject the takeover offer. And when I looked at the chart, I'm going, yeah, I can see why you'd reject the takeover offer, because the chart is a beautiful chart and it's going higher. And that's all I needed to do within 2 minutes to make an assessment. So I don't know how these people go spend hours poring over a balance sheet and all of those sort of things, because all the balance sheets and all the promotional documents are just bullshit written by management. I used to write those reports. I know how much bullshit I put in them. So, you know, you just don't trust those things. And anybody who says that they have a valuation of something and the charts are silly, you know, and that we're just making assumptions. Well, they're making assumptions every day about what what the forward earnings are, all those sort of things. So, you know, we're all making assumptions. So get real.
While I've got you there, what is the story
There was a
with
profit
Woolworths?
downgrade on Woolies. Yeah, profit warning, profit downgrade. That's what came today. The story is, I guess, everyone would say Masters. I guess, too, there's Aldi coming in a lot of places. For example, Phillip Island, it used to have a Coles only, and it had an IGA where you wouldn't eat unless you wanted to die. But there is a lot of old people in Phillip Island, so maybe that's where they want to go when they finally want to give up the ghost. They go and eat meat at IGA and in cows. But Coles was Coles was out of control at Christmas, and then a Woolies came along with the Hugh Butte thing. Then Coles upped the ante. It's only got a population of 10,000 people on the island when it's not holidays, and Aldi's coming. So, you know, a lot of these supermarkets are just over supermarketed, and as well as Masters, which is losing $400 million a year or something.
Well, as you know, I know about the media, and the voice that they use at Masters. I don't know where they found him, but I mean, if you've said to me, I want to stuff a company, who can we get to do the voiceover? I'd go and get him.
Well, the other thing,
but really,
the other thing with Masters is for people who've been in there, and I haven't been in there, they just said it's just cheap knockoff shit from China, so, or not even really China, yeah, not even Chinese.
Well, I was actually in that Woolworths store at Phillip Island on Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
So
it's a good store.
It's a nice big store.
Yeah, the Double Bay Woolies is amazing. They're trying to outcompete the organic stores down the road. Anyway, Adonis is saying they are more expensive than Coles, worse service than Coles and poor product range. That's the start of their problems.
Okay, fair enough. Right, let's keep going. Once again, Bernie's got a second question.
Louise, it's negative.
And medium.
Louise has just asked a question about the 3-point crossover, and it's negative. Louise, you actually learnt that you need to go back through your notes in Train the Chartist seminar, because that is something I covered in your one. So,
by the way, while we're here, we have to tighten this up a fraction. But while we're here, I hope the people who are tuning into these programs we're running, I hope they're finding them enjoyable. They used to have a go at me that I was interrupting you and all of that. But I hope if a bit of feedback as to how we're going wouldn't be a bad thing too. Now, your short-term, medium-term, long outlook for DRM would be appreciated. Who's DRM?
Do-Re Mining. Now, I don't know whether it's Do-Re-Mi. I used to think it was Do-Re-Mi or something like that. But DRM, I covered that last night, so I'm surprised Bernie wasn't watching. Weren't you watching last night, Bernie? So, so here, basically, the same thing applies. It needed to break through that 64 cents area to be good. I was talking about a dip to buy around about the 50, 52 cents area. That's where I'd be looking to buy with a stop below 45 cents. It does look like it can blow through that. 64 cents, if it can get some legs going, be looking up towards, yeah, today it really didn't do anything. Looking up towards 81 cents to 78 cents on the top side.
Could I just go back to Woolworths for a moment? What do you think the story with Woolworths? Do you see them coming back some more, or what's your thoughts? I know.
Yeah, I've always
it's very hard.
Like I said, Terry, it's always I've been hoping for $22.90. That's just where we're waiting.
So where did it finish today again?
$24.70.
Oh, so it's got a way to go, isn't it?
It's down about.
Boy, those people got it.
It's down about $3.30 from from last week, this week's high since Monday.
Well, those people who are buy and hold merchants who had that share up near $40, they must be ready to jump off the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yeah, I haven't heard from them lately. I haven't heard from them, but maybe they're buying more. Maybe they're buying.
Yeah. I don't think so. But well, I've got a friend of mine. He scorns at me, and he says, I buy shares and I keep them, and I'm successful, and he has been successful. Boy, he must be ripping some money up at the moment.
Yeah, well,
David,
there was once a newsletter person that came out and told us said how good this particular stock was, and I had bought the stock and I got rid of it pretty quickly because it didn't do anything. But this was Fat. I can't remember the name of the newsletter. Fat something or other.
Fat Profits.
It could be. Yeah. That was it. And what they said was they'd bought this stock at $1, and it was now trading $1.50. They'd bought it 4 years ago at $1 and had gone down to 20 cents. And now it's up to $1.50, and they were patting themselves on the back for that particular trade. And I just went, this was one they were advertising. I went, are you kidding? You just would have killed people. Would have died looking at it, especially if they were leveraged. That's just not fair. And I saw another newsletter writer that came from, I think it was an email from Copper, and they said, we own these stocks. And one of them was LYC, Linus. And I go, well, and it went up 300%. I go, well, that was like seriously ancient history. It's and they were saying all these ones that had gone up a bit, but then reasonable profits, but then they were way down. But they weren't ones that they were currently holding. So I don't know how people. It's hard when you advertise and do things like that. You might have to embarrass yourself with going publicly on high rotation advertising. But people actually do buy those things. I can't run myself that way. It's I couldn't do that. Anyway, let's move on. You're alive, Terry. Hello. Hello. Okay.
Yeah.
Terry.
The computer shut down.
Computer shut down. Terry, I'll roll on with the question. So
I'll give you the next question, and it'll be going with which you can read out.
Well, they can hear you.
Can you please give me your profit target on TPM and QMS from Adonis?
Okay. So for TPM, TPM, it's hit something. So basically looking down towards $10.11 if it pulls back decently. We've had a theory that it would be going a little bit higher if it wanted to. Now those areas, those bit higher levels, somewhere in the $12.80 area, $12.83. If you're still long, this stop would be below $10 if you are trying to hang on to it. The other one was, what was the other one there that Terry had? Just 1 second, I'll have to pull it up on a different system. QMS. Thanks, Adonis. seeing as it's your question. QMS Media. Okay, lots of new floats. And the new floats like Godfrey's have had the kick knocked out of them, and that's some, and even Channel 9, and there's quite a few ones that have been floated recently that just have been caned. Dick Smith. These do. Hey Chris, how you doing? These do digital billboards. From Chris in Melbourne, and some of these stocks are just silly, really. The way I've got this mouse. So this has kicked on seriously since it was born. Now I don't think it was trading at 0 cents, so that's a data confirmation. But I would say it probably started its life somewhere around about the 6.5 cents area. So we're looking around about $1 and $1.30 area for this as a target. Stop would be at, really you need to have a stop at loss at about 88 cents on that one. So it did float at 65 cents. Did you do the issue on it, Chris? Chris is a broker from Holst, a stockbroker from Holst in Melbourne, and he says yes, he did the issue. Not bad. So it started 65 cents, so probably about $1.30 would be the variable best guess for where it could end up. Usually Holst do reasonable issues. They're not full of shit like prepared to do rubbish issues. So up to $1 in the short term, looking for $1.01 to $1.09. Stop loss should be below 90 cents. Okay, what was the next one? Well, we got Terry back in play here. Just 1 second. I need to bring up Terry. I might need to. I need to kick him out. I need to dismiss his and bring him in. Okay. Beautiful technology. If you kick a computer, it dies, and then it annoys you. Terry, would you be needing me to turn you on? Do I turn you on, Terry? Be honest. Do I turn you on? I turn you on.
Hello, David. I'm back again.
Yep.
Unmuted.
Okay. You are unmuted and hopefully turned on by me still. Are you good now?
Now, go back to that quick. Where were we? Have you done
We've done QMS.
and TPM?
Yep. And we do have the broker in the
TPM?
audience that floated QMS. TPM is done.
Yeah. Done. Okay, that's good. Okay, the next one. Sorry about that, everybody. Hello, David. I'd like to have your expert analysis on ISX and BAL. I own shares in both companies and would like to know whether to keep holding on to them or not.
Okay, now I'm getting a bit tired of looking at the same sort of chart at the moment, so I tend to have a tendency to want to go somewhere else. So ISX, I signed this. Now I'm getting patted over the back for giving higher targets on this one. Now, originally when it started off, I was thinking about, you probably look about 90 cents at the moment, 81 cents on this one. And your stop needs to be around about the 35 cent mark if you're playing with it and worrying about it. Oh, here we go. ISX, Dan's a broker and financial planner from up in Toowoomba. If you're up that way, Dan's a good man. ISX went into trading halt for a capital raising today. That's a bit disturbing. Now, with the capital raising, I guess the information hasn't come out, but I'd suspect it's around about 33 cents to 36 cents. If it's down in that zone, I would say it's okay to go for a buy, but you don't want to see it going too aggressive on how much capital they're raising. And if it's down there, it would be buy worthy with a stop below 25 cents. Thanks for that, Dan. Capital raisings are, especially when they've just done a float, it's a bit of a strange sign to give. Maybe it's just management greed coming in. Maybe they've got to pay themselves extra salaries because the shares went up. That's a little bit of a warning sign. Okay, so
would you keep holding it or not?
if you're holding it, you have to look at the details of the capital raising. If it was a good capital raising at a good discount and they weren't just doing it for spurious reasons, then you'd be all right. Let's talk about BAL. Bellamy?
Could I make a suggestion? That if Wally, who asked that question, would like to get more facts and send a question in next week with more details, you can probably give him a better analysis.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. What happens with the Profit Hunter group, Terry, which you're aware of, is in the mornings when we have things like capital raisings, there's a lot of brokers and a lot of active traders in there, and they bring the information to me. I don't watch this sort of information, and when I see it, something happening, if I don't know what it is, the Brains Trust will generally tell me, give us the details of it. So everybody's primed at 10 a.m. for the important stuff for the start of trading that day and what to do. So it's actually quite a good group. And Dan fits into what I call the Brains Trust, as you're aware, Terry. And he's a very, very active member in the PHG, popping up with things like that help us a lot. So thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
Am I right? Is Dan an accountant?
Stockbroker, financial planner.
Stockbroker. Okay, right. I thought he might have been an accountant too.
Wealth advisor, I guess is probably the more faster way of saying it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So the other one was
Bellamy's with BAL.
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing that just doesn't want to die. The beast that doesn't want to die. So really on this fella, $13 is probably the place. At the moment, it's a bit hesitant, and if it did dip down to $5.91, that would be the nice area to buy some with a stop below $5.50. You don't get this very often. It's obviously a business that's been worthy of what it's been doing. Now, in the intermediate time frame, we can see that it's popped its head above the old top and then started to fail. So this is possibly a fifth wave of some higher degree. So down towards a medium-term degree. If it breaks $7.30, then look down to $5.89 on the downside. So I wouldn't be overly in love with committing extra funds to this until it closed through $8.29.
Well, back to the question, would you keep holding it or not?
Well, if you're in from $4.50, absolutely. If you're in from $6.
David, I've got a problem. This thing here says weekly desktop maintenance calls will now be performed on. It could go again. So if it does, you have to soldier on your own.
Yeah.
But I think we're right. But be prepared. Sorry.
Soldier on. Okay.
Yes, soldier on. Yep.
Okay. So
what are you going to say to Wally? Sorry.
Oh, I just said if you're in for $4 and $4.50 or lower, then do nothing. If you're in from above $8, then start to sweat bullets on a break back below $7.30 because you're looking down to $5.89. That's where you would be looking to exit.
Okay. Wally, I hope that answers your question. David, could I have your view on the following? SPI.
Now, I didn't know whether that's the share price index futures or, and I think that was from Tony, who's on, Tony C. So if you are there, Tony C, I think I'm not sure you meant the SPY, but we're going to look at Spitfire Resources. Weren't they copper? Weren't they coppers? Anyone got some feedback on that? If they're copper, let me know. Spitfire is called shitfire at the moment. So what can we do with this? The answer is sandfire for copper. Yes, yes, Tony says, and sandfire for copper. I think Mark. Now, there's not much you can do with this really, other than wonder if it's going to God. Copper has tried to rally a little bit. Manganese, we've got a couple of votes. Manganese, copper. Let's have a look. This is a yearly chart. We can see that I would like it if it gets above. This must be, yeah, above 1.1 cents. That would be okay. A close on a weekly basis above there. Otherwise, I'd be leaving it alone. If you did buy it, then your stop would be somewhere around about 6 cents. Sorry, yeah, but sorry, 0.6 of a cent. Now let's look on the weekly charts to see if we can find anything more inspiring. And the answer is you can't. It just isn't there. Nothing would turn me on about this particular stock in the moment.
Okay.
There is
next one.
There is, however, go ahead. H.
No, have you finished with that one?
I've finished. Yeah. It needs
HGG.
HGG. Henderson's, which I believe was a UK management funds management firm.
Right.
Now it will ebb and flow with the pound. The Aussie pound has been pummeled. We're getting a bit of confusion in here, and pattern-wise, it's not deadly, but pattern-wise, it's not healthy. It's not really. I'd like to see better volume in it. Maybe we'll get that on Friday. But here, a close below $5.35 would be a stop if you were long. If you're thinking of buying it in this pattern, you might want to buy it on a dip down towards $5.67. Now, on the weeklies,
okay,
we'll just pick it up on the weeklies. On the weeklies, one more press towards about $6.50, that sort of area would put this into struggle street territory. So that if we were if you were long and looking to take profit, I would like to take profit up in that zone. Okay.
Okay. MFG.
Another
MFG.
funds management. Magellan
Mary
Financial.
forgot Gary.
He did, didn't he? She did. And Caitlin forgot the guy that she was before. But probably will develop back into him now that he's not being charged with murder. Okay, let's do the stop loss at $19 on this fella. One more push up is kind of debatable. So we're getting this push up. I think that if you long this, your stop is at $19 and really just hang in there. We're going to get some divergence on this, and in fact we are on this next push up, but it's probably not as bad as I think. Yeah, we probably,
okay.
Here we go. No, this probably a shorter term. I think you'll find it will pull back down to around about $21. So you might want to buy it down there. Stop loss below $20.24 shorter term. Look for another push higher.
What do they do?
Funds management. They provide annuities.
Of America, right. Okay, oh yeah, right. SRX.
I believe they're annuities.
Right.
SRX, this is Certex. Now Certex has been, was the one where it dropped an incredible amount in a few days, and it's recovered almost fully. I did think that it was going to start to headbutt some headbutt into this area and start to have some problems. But so far, it hasn't yet fallen over. But what this signal is telling me is a pullback down to $33.66 area is quite possible. It would be a buy down there with a stop at $32. Then you'd be looking for targets towards FTRX. And we'd be looking to targets towards about $48.54 in my dreams. Again, there's a risk of this divergent going on in that. And so with a pullback, it would be nice, $35.32. Nice tight stop, $32. Looking for the higher levels. It came back with good resilience. There is good volume as it marches up. So it's got good potential in the longer run. It's just that from now, I think a pullback is needed.
Good. WBC. And while you're at it, you might as well do the other banks as well.
Do you want me to load up? Well, did anyone see what I said about National Australia Bank yesterday? Just read out what I said. National Australia Bank on Your Money, Your Call.
A lot of people wouldn't have seen that.
I don't know. A lot of people here actually watch Your Money, Your Call. Anyone hear what I said about NAB? Anybody? There's a hands go up. What did I say? Type it in. See if I get my message across, because I don't get to say much on those programs. In fact, last night I had a massive headache and really it was boring. It was a boring night. I thought it'd be more interesting. First time on was on. I thought he was.
Can I ask you a question? Did they stick you on the end of the table side on again?
They just did. You just did. No, I just, Tony asked, do you want this? And I said, yeah, fine. Okay, I'm not getting
into that.
Okay, so what we saw here, basically yesterday for the PHG, let's go in and have a look at what I did for the PHG stuff. You're probably going to have to see some rubbish here at the moment. Just 1 second. I'll just dim the screen because getting through all this stuff is just annoying and you can get vertigo. Profit owners.
While you're doing that,
yep,
I'd like to share with the people who are listening who are not Profit Hunter members, it's really worth it. If you just trade the Profit Hunter shares, like what I'm doing at the moment with the account I spoke about, you will make a lot of money. And so, okay, you don't get into Profit Hunters for nothing. It does cost you a few dollars, but if you're serious about this business, to have an expert behind you is very, very helpful. And doing this on a Thursday night is great, but you are missing out on so much that you could be having information that you really need to profit sensibly.
Yeah, Terry, one of the things I hate doing to people is...
If they want to talk to you about it.
Yeah. One of the things I hate doing is saying, I told you so. But so many people don't see what I do. And this, as you can see here, I'm going through all of the stocks that I've covered in the last day or so. And this is the PHG trade list, and that's up there. You don't want to... It's not exactly what I'm looking for.
But David, I know what you're doing and what you're trying to say, but there are people out there who just won't listen. They'll come and do this for free and fine, but they just won't. They just won't do it. But all I can say that as a user of the product, there's good money to be made there, and to try and do it without someone guiding you is very, very hard and very dangerous. You can lose your capital very quickly.
Yeah. Let's see what I said. This is the post for yesterday, and this is the transcript. And the date, as for PHG members, people say, what do I know what the time is? This is when I posted it. I start writing this and delivering the webinar at the same time at about 8:30 in the morning. So this is posted at 10:26 and started. So this is the full transcript. There's no changes involved in this. And now I'm looking for nab.asx. Now we're going down here. This is nab.asx. It says here, this has been the better banks. In fact, it's been one of the best. It's now reported and it is now a short. Does anyone know what National Australia Bank did today? And it's a short with a stop loss above $33.23, targeting down below $30. We won't be making this as PAG. We'll be watching how it opens. I believe it's the way to go. Investors time frame, we can see little volume as it opens, and this is the chart of National Australia Bank. With only 3 days to go, we have half the volume previous month in this rally. It's now back into overhead resistance. The sellers, and I went on TV last night and talked about this. Is anyone aware of it? Now it was actually trading. You can see this green bar here. I don't know if I can pull this right up. But you can see this green bar here, and that was where it was on the data that I was looking at. It was like right up on that high. And the first thing we did on yesterday is put a sell out on it, and you can see. Sorry, it wasn't. Yeah, it was yesterday. It was Wednesday. The results came out, I think. Actually, was it? Yeah, it was. Okay, so basically here, no, we were looking at it on this day. That was the 26th, and I was basically said, it's a sell. It's a sell. Boom, boom, boom. Volume collapsed. Now, would that be useful for you? I gave a target at $30, and now I ask you for people, whether you think I'm full of shit or not, is that useful to know in advance that NAB will fall some $2 pretty quickly?
It's very handy. It's very. But don't say. Hang on. I'm going to have a crack at you, if I may. Yeah. Don't say full of shit. Some people just.
Terry,
there are people.
Terry, there are people who say to me, David, you're full of shit all of the time. All of the time. I get it all the time. I think you're full of shit.
Hang on. Settle down. Hang on. You've got jealousy there, my friend. You've got jealousy. Don't say it. Just they don't believe. Just ignore them. Just do your own thing. Yes, that is very handy information.
Okay. So here, and this is the area that I'm looking for, $27 to $24.62, and I mentioned it last night.
Wow.
So that might have helped.
And what was the reaction?
Rudy looked at me like I was a Martian in some ways, and Tony just said last night on the TV, he said, I hate banks anyway. But, there are times when the banks have been good. They've been good to go. So the question was Westpac. Now, Westpac, we can see, is sticking up. Why is it sticking up? Because it's a dividend to come. CBA, and probably reporting soon. CBA also staying up a bit. ANZ got to the target and got pummeled. So Westpac's a little bit harder to gauge until we get the response from the next report. But it'll probably do the same thing as NAB. NAB was, I think, the first one to raise capital. Then I believe, was it ANZ went for it? Then CBA went for it. And then Westpac went for it as well. So, these are the ones that there's a sort of rolling bunch of herding mentality. They all raise interest rates at the same time. Mm-hmm. Zoe's made a nice comment there. Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate that.
What did Zoe say? Don't keep it a secret.
No, that's all right. I'm a bit shy, Terry. She said she loves me.
Go on. Is she having a go at me, is she?
No, not at all, Terry.
Oh, someone do. David.
Okay, so
it's time for all good boys and girls to go to bed in a minute.
Oh, you're right. You're spoiled fun. Okay.
You've got another couple of minutes.
Okay. Anyway, ANZ, bang. This is where our friend Cindy got out at $29.13. I'd been targeting $29.24. She got out. I think the high here was $29.17. She got out at $29.30. It never made my perfect target. Now ANZ on the downside, attracting a lot of volume. Now today is particularly unfortunate to see a lot of volume on the downside because its options expiry date. So if it breaks the $28 area, then I'd say, yep, that volume was reality. Now we're seeing it peeling off on increasing volume, which is a negative sign. It couldn't quite get to $29.24, which is also a slight negative sign. It now has a double top in a downtrend, which would project down to new lows, and those new lows around about $24.75 for ANZ. The more the banks put up the interest rates, the more they hurt their customers, the more they hurt themselves, and in order to try and keep their pay packages, they've got to keep their profits up. So they think they're going to get it out of people who will go broke if they nudge up their interest rates higher. So,
well, the time has come for us to say goodbye to everybody. Been lovely having you with us again. We'll see you next Thursday night. So from Terry in Melbourne, Tasmania next week. Good night, David, and good night, everybody.
Good night, Irene. Thanks, JR, too.